at WarriorCon right here and displaying WarriorCon. All right, what's new? What do you have for us here in comic book goodness?
A bunch of different books. I don't know, Peacemaker, Dracula. We got some Miles books. We got this rack of all kinds of. This is a really good book.
That's
right
a
here.
Svengoolie.
Rare book right here, man. Buy it now. Buy it now.
Very nice. Yeah, and we could also check you out on Instagram, and you have your own website too for Bela Comics.
Yep. You can check out the flag right there.
Look at that flag right there. It even has a QR code. So you can always pause the video and check out that QR code right there.
Nice.
And that's Bela's first appearance in comics. He is in a comic book with the Santos sisters.
You think I'd bring it? I forgot them.
So always a pleasure running into you, Bela.
Yeah, dude.
Always good stuff. Here at WarriorCon, we are at One More Round Comics, and this is great. What do you have to show us? What's going on?
Absolutely. So me and my friend are the writers and creators of One More Round Entertainment. We have our flagship comic, Evolution. We actually just finished issue 5. I'm just waiting on the prints to come out. We've been doing cons for like the last 6 or 7 years around the Midwest. We also sell artwork from the artist who sells our comic books, and then this is my photography work. Also some of our old comic book collections from my dad, my friend, myself, and we sell it all here at conventions to help make more comic books. So come on by and check us out.
Oh, very nice. And do you have Instagram where we could find you? And
absolutely, One More Round Entertainment on Instagram, and you can go to mrentertainment.com to check out our website.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You have beautiful stuff.
No problem. Thank you.
Here we're with Saad at Webonator Comics. Look at that banner right there and the QR code. And what do you have for us? All these great comics right here.
We have a great selection of comics here from Marvel and DC. We have like a bunch of Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, all your your top favorites, superheroes and stuff. I'm here to make some great deals. I have a great selection of keys in this particular box.
Oh wow, let's take a look at these guys. Oh wow, She-Hulk right away. We even have some Spider-Man. This is a key issue. Wow, this is beautiful stuff right here. You have a mix of old and new. This is a great cover here.
I cater to all audiences, so if you need something, hit me up, Webonator Comics.
Yeah, Webonator Comics. We'll put that below with the Instagram, and thank you, Saad.
Thank you, Leah.
All right, here we are with Sarah, and look at all the colors. You can see the pinks and oranges, and just really takes you to a different dimension. So what have you been working on lately? What are some of the projects that you have right here?
So over here I have a lot of my Star Trek artwork. The DeForge artwork is one of my newer pieces. I made a piece about Uhura for an Uhura zine, so that's featured over here too. I've got some of the more original artworks on this side. Space Cats and Girl, some artwork pieces I made for Black History Month, some angels, stickers, and a zine that I put together.
Oh, this is all wonderful. A lot of creativity, color, and your style really pops. It really takes you out of the reality we're in and just transports you to surreal, mesmerizing fun. Even these postcards, take a look at these. Very good. Well, thank you. And this is here, Galactic Turnip. And you can see the Instagram below. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
All right, here at WarriorCon we have Konkrete Comics, and these are beautiful covers right here. Look at the action popping out at you right there. Loving the titles over there as well. So tell me about the latest. What's happening with Konkrete Comic?
So, Concrete Comics, we're celebrating our 5th year of business. We are here at WarriorCon to bring some unique titles to the table. We have our newest title, Money. We have 3 issues of Deja Vu available. We have 2 issues of Watchmen. Then we have our very first crossover event that was released about 3 months ago via Kickstarter. So we got a lot of big things coming up, a lot of new titles coming out for 2025.
All right, Konkrete Comics, that's where it's at. And check out the Instagram below. All right, here we have Reese at researt.com, and we have the Ninja Turtles and 80s greatness right here, including Alf right over there. So what's your inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an '80s, '90s kid, so a lot of Turtles inspiration, Muppets, that sort of thing. Just stuff I enjoy drawing. Check me out at justreese.art on Instagram and shoot me a message.
We certainly will.
Thank you.
Turtle Power.
Turtle Power.
All right, we're with Paul here, and every day we need a cup of coffee. I think we could all agree to that. And we have robots with coffee and just some nice, great artwork, very whimsical, very subtle, even coloring books to be had right here, and a nice homage to the Transformers. And Paul, what's the latest you're working on? What is happening at the con here?
I'm trying to work on a more story-oriented comic, but I'm usually just kind of busy making these gag strips. My latest book is about spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Spiders are helpful, and I'm slowly working on a sequel to that. It's just information about spiders, whether it's accurate or not. That I can't guarantee. You're going to get a degree from reading that book. It was fun to do. I just like making silly, fun things, and usually on a DIY budget.
Yeah, very fun. It's just kind of exploring and some of these little watercolor prints that you're doing and the stickers. So yeah, you bring a lot. And we could check you out online and on Instagram. Is that right, Paul?
Robots with Coffee. It's pretty much the handle anywhere you look. Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Facebook, and robotswithcoffee.com is where I usually post my strips as I do them, along with designs for robots that I come up with, which no one's going to pay me for because they don't work, and other things like movie and music reviews or whatever I'm into at the moment.
Oh, very cool, very cool. What are some of the robots you had in your book? They were really cool. Some of the ones.
My book is a homage to G1 Transformers, to the marketing.
These are the ones you mentioned about, like the different robot designs. So
robot designs. This is sort of early, and since then I hopefully have improved. But just sort of the idea of like you have a fax, it's also got an axe with it, and I don't tape deck is Transformers used to have obsolete, what is now obsolete technology.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I mean, it's a lot of fun to see your take on the robot, the creativity that you have there, and it's just simply fun, something that's a great escape.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome, fellow time travelers and comic book aficionados. I had a chance to check out WarriorCon, a small comic book convention taking place at a high school, and it was nice. They had an artist alley with the high school students presenting and selling their work, as well as some familiar and new comic book vendors. And that was fun, thumping through comic book boxes in the anticipation of a book to fill the collection or something completely new. I started out at seeing one of my favorite vendors, Cheeseandkeys, and he never disappoints. A variety of modern age, silver age, golden age, and plenty of books to fill in the collection. So I have a stack right here that I will go through with some of my pickups. And at the top of the stack is books from Cheeseandkeys, always great to stop by And starting off, I was happy because I found a Happy comic. This is a Golden Age funny book by Nidor Publication. It's a unique publishing company. And just there's a lot of nostalgia and fun for me. This brings me back to like Woody Woodpecker, Looney Tunes, and some interesting stories in there about animal funnies. And this happens to be from the year 1946. So just putting your frame of reference, just after World War II, families were starting to build the United States, and kids were in the back seats reading these type of comic books. And I really love the cover, just a band, a drum beat to it, and just flipping through the pages, it has a kind of classic cartooning of the mid 19th century type. It's like it looks like Sylvester and Tweety. It could be anybody. And cat and mouse, cat and bird. Happy Comics. The next comic is also a funny book, and it's Marmaduke Mouse. We all know about Mighty Mouse and Mickey Mouse, and who couldn't add to more artwork and stories featuring mice. So here we have Marmaduke Mouse. I really love this cover. I'm a big collector of the soda shop and milkshake covers, and this one is great to add to the collection. Really neat book to have here. Looking at the pages, they're kind of quirky and wacky, and this was just a way to unwind as a kid. So as an adult, I still appreciate these animal funny books, and was happy that Cheese and Keys had these too as I was flipping through. Just about $5, $7 a piece. It was a no-brainer for me. Also a no-brainer are painted covers, either Gold Key or Dell, and we have here Tom Corbett's Space Cadet. About a limited run, about 8 or 9 of these type books, but the painted covers always catch my eye, so definitely pick that one up. Also in the mix, a Dazzler, #1. There's some rumor and options that Taylor Swift could play this as a superhero, Dazzler, and we have Iron Man, the Hulk in the back, it looks to be, and also Spider-Man. So this is a nice Bronze Age goodie. We saw that in the bin, picked it up. Red Sonja, but this time with Conan. So we have a clash between Hyboria and Hyrcania, and we have Conan the Barbarian, and this happens to be issue #7. Always a fan of the Frank Thorne artwork, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of goodness in this one. Look at the skulls and the bones in the background. That really set the way for this type of action. What do you think of Red Sonja and Conan? Still relevant today? There is a new series already being printed in the runs now, so it's always cool to see that. Of course, more action. As an 80s kid, I'm never going to turn away this $7 copy, issue #1, Master of the Universe. This is from DC, and this is part of a mini-series. So his first appearance actually comes a little earlier because this is mostly based on his character. There's a motion picture DC adaptation, but this is a 3-part mini-series. You have the castle right there that's very popular, Skeletor and his minions with a great cover right there. Cruising through, also 80s, is Thundercats, and these are more scarce. I don't really see a lot of Thundercat going around. I've seen issue 3 a few times, issue 1 that's more valuable, but this happens to be #7. So really neat cover right there. A Lionel on the cover, and a lot of fun. Moving along, I saw PC Comics. Anytime I see PC Comics, I always think of like The Rocketeer, some of the greatest artists joining, like Neil Adams, Steve Ditko, and here we have the Star Slayer. And what's interesting about this book, it features the Rocketeer, one of my favorite heroes growing up, and it's one of his earlier appearances by Dave Stevens, who created the artwork for the Rocketeer. And it was $5. I couldn't even go wrong with that. Really nice copy too. And on the back cover, we have the Rocketeer. And that nice cartoon deco style of Dave Stevens is represented in the book, and also Betty Page. And just as you finish the action, which is really a good story here of what's on the cover, you get into the last few pages right there, and you have the Rocketeer. And just that mesmerizing work. Anybody a fan of the Rocketeer? Do you remember seeing it at the movie theater back in the early 90s? Right there, we have the airplane, the hangar, and of course that metal mask that the Rocketeer knows to wear right there. PC Comics, always great, even an ad for Jack Kirby's artwork with Captain Victory. We have different artists being featured in PC Comics. It's a bummer they went defunct, as they're really good to read. Well, if we have the Rocketeer here, the more modern renditions right there, and this is a one-shot by IDW that picked up the property. And of course, flying through the skies, we have Betty Page as well. So this was also mixed in with the pile that I got. Some nice action by the monkeys, and inside it even gives a little caricature names of each of the individual monkeys band members. Just enjoyed the goofiness and slap happy action as I watched this on TV, and just like this cover. It looks psychedelic in a way, reminiscent of the early 70s and late 60s. We have Dell with this preservation of a great band that offered a lot of comedy. And of course, Dell and Gold Key, I was able to pick up 2 Star Trek books. One is a voodoo cover featuring Spock, of course, and Captain Kirk. And this one here, I did have a copy of it, but for $2 or $3, I figured I can upgrade the copy as it's a little bit better. I mean, the corners look really nice, and that's sharp, because some of these Dell books and Gold Key books were fun for kids throwaway books. Nobody really held on to them thinking that they would revisit it. They would watch TV, and you didn't have internet to check out your characters again, so you went back to comic books, and was really happy to see a couple Gold Keys and Star Trek in the mix. Of course, we say Star Trek, we have Star Wars, a nice copy here. This happens to be number 9, so earlier run Star Wars. Again, a few bucks. Has a newsstand variant cover, and one that I have, but I know mine is pretty beat up, so it's always neat to pick up some Star Wars on the cheap. And then my favorite franchise growing up, again as an 80s kid, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this happens to be a miniseries from 1986. And what Mirage Studio did, and Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the creator of the Ninja Turtles, they introduced a miniseries with each individual turtle, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello. But here we have the story of Leonardo single-handedly taking on the Foot Clan, and couldn't say no to that. Some great artwork. Right next to that was a more modern book right here, and this happens to be issue number 50, City at War, and a homage to the original cover that Peter Eastman and Kevin Laird created right there. So this time in color. Their bandanas and eyepieces are all the same color red. That was later in the animated series that they changed it. But yeah, City of War and also Leonardo were just great to pick up for under $3. Also, another book, another PC book that I found featured Bernie Wrightson for all you horror fans, and also the creature and monster. Bernie Wrightson did it best, creating these very solitary, scary figures. And here we are, Master of the Macabre. And look at those eyes, and I haven't cracked this book open yet, but PC Comics, again, on the cheap, very interesting, unique comic book publisher, and one to take a look at. And lastly, a thick book right there. This happens to be a compilation of the Mystery in Space. And the cover is from a Chicago artist, Mitch O'Connell, who does a lot of these very swirly, retro, vintage type pieces, but in the current time. And he did the cover for this, and DC basically called this the Pulp Fiction Library. And originally it came out for $20, was able to get it for $7, and it basically reprints some of those great mysteries in space that DC had to offer. So if you're looking for Murphy Anderson, or you're looking for artwork by Dick Giordano, you have some of this nice action right there. Even the back cover has some overlay of those panels, and it's just nice to see that it's all together. Even Jack Kirby, Frank Frazetta, Carmen Infantino, and Gil Kane are featured in a run of comics in this book right here. So great to have this. We'll be on a cold winter's night just relaxing and reading some space mystery. It's a good time for me. And all those books in the stack were from Cheese and Keys, and I can't thank him enough as he added up the total and gave me even more of a discount. Just a great vendor, and one who I always look forward to seeing at these small cons. And he was well represented at WarriorCon. Also represented was Bela from Bela Con, and some of my videos in my playlist, you'll see a couple of them, up to 3 Bela Cons, and they've all been fun. And he sold me this book right here, featuring Venom and Carnage against the Amazing Spider-Man. And this is a multiple part series, and this happens to be the second installation. Loving the yellow cover, loving the action, and the new character. I did know about this as a kid going through school, but I never really collected all the different parts because they were hard to collect. From one title to another, you were jumping to pick up and collect them. And that was a thing that they did in the 90s that drove me nuts, and I'm sure a lot of comic book collectors back then, where you couldn't follow in the same series sequentially to get them all. So didn't have number 2. I have nearly the whole complete run, and Bela was able to sell this to me for a good price that I was happy about, a really high grade. So very happy with that. And I also met a new vendor whom I haven't seen before at any of the cons, and his name is Saad, and he's with Webonator Comics, and he sold me a great nice little Silver Age book right here, 100-page Batman, and a great number of comics, even the first appearance of Deadpool slabbed in his collection, a number of modern and even bronze Copper Age keys, and a lot more. It's just a great guy to talk to, and he definitely hooked me up with this nice copy right here. I've been trying to get a good run of these 100-page Superman and Batman, and I didn't have this one. And just look at all the vignettes of the stories that are to be told in here. Loving the purple cover, and just loving the fact that this is a nice square-bound book. So tell me out there, do you like to collect square-bound books, or the 100-page compilation and reprints? What do you think of those? Should Marvel do some more of those, or DC? But I was happy to pick this up and to talk and see Webonator Comics. And thanks again, Saad. What was also fun about WarriorCon, even though we had vendors selling books in their collections, we also had new artists and new comic book creators represented as well. And one of which was R.J. Reyes, and he created Evolution right here, a nice futuristic sci-fi alien hack and slash tale with a lot more curiosity and detective work going on. And this cover is dark and gnarly, but very good. He even was nice enough to sign all the issues that I purchased from him. So RJ, also with Mario Kalau, wrote and created the stories, but we have here Ryan Best creating this artwork, and look at the talent. It's always neat to see artists in this day and age creating new books, new ideas, and really taking on high professional quality like their counterparts at Marvel and DC and Image Comics and Boom Comics for that matter. And just look at this. This is an independent comic book company right there. and you can even see just the detail. And it's called One More Round Comics. One More Round Comics brings to you Evolution, and there are four books in the series, including this cover right here. This is number 2. Number 3, right in your face, right there. Again, autograph. And One More Round is the publisher there, and this cover right there. Look at the tone and the action that you know you're going to get into. If you like The Walking Dead, if you like zombies, if you like mystery, teamwork, camaraderie, and suspense, this is a great title, Evolution. Just look at the polished artwork and the panel layout. Very professionally done. And you can also follow more because on the back there's a QR code, and there's also One More Round Entertainment online where you could find all these books there. So I was able to get a nice little bundle here, and RJ Reyes signed all of them, even the first one, which is right over there. So cool stuff to be had. Walking over some more at Artist Alley, moving from one comic book creator to another, I came across Konkrete Comics. I've never heard them before, but I'm glad that I know about them now because we have a couple titles, one of which is called Deja Vu. And just look at that artwork, almost better than the Cyborg. You see the flashes of light, very professional art as well. And this tale was written by Jera Cecil. And if you check out Konkrete Comics on Instagram, you'll see a lot of their new projects and some of their stories that they're looking to develop. And I was able to get this signed as well by Jera, and just happy. The fun of it is just being able to learn and see a new comic and get a signature. And just look at the action going on here, the colors, the panel splicing, a lot of action, just like in the last series that we just saw. But we have an introduction of a character from Konkrete Comics, Deja Vu, and a lot of talent included. Line artist Ian Sebastian, taking care of all that detail. Aside from Ian Sebastian, the cover artist Bruno Lima. So Konkrete Comics works with a number of different artists and writers to create their series. And the editor is Derek Allen, and the letterer Mason Salamine. And everything about it is a professional crew working on it. And I love their logo. Check it out, konkretecomics.com. Very nice independent book, and a lot of great talent to be had. And there was plenty of talent to go around. It was enjoyable seeing inspired high school students selling their artwork to the passerbys and visitors of this mini-con. And it was just seeing their ideas, from anime styles to more classic cartooning styles. And they were part of the art club. And the benefits of the admission fee went to the booster club and the art department. So it was really nice supporting that, as well as small vendors, which you wouldn't really get at one of the bigger cons. So great to be a part of that. Other artists include Robots and Coffee. It was fun talking with his creation and work about just whimsical office life and drinking coffee and robots. So in the age of AI and robotics, that can be something that is relatable and more comic relief. Other vendors were represented as well. And a final shout out to my local comic shop that also had a booth there, Zombie Unicorn Comics. They're always the best and always have a variety of comics to offer and are retooling and restocking, and had some nice giveaways as well. They had a Black Friday special as we were approaching the Thanksgiving holiday, or has passed already, but I was able to get a couple Silver Age Superman books right here from the 60s from Action Comics, and this happens to be issue 319 and 342 for $3 a piece. They have a very great and generous $5 bin. It was further discounted to $3, so easy picking and some nice condition books as well. Happy to add these to the collection. Also, some Gold Key books. As you know, I love my painted covers. And check out this Twilight Zone right there. A nice little Jekyll and Hyde look, a two-faced look, if you will, of good and evil. The green and red, a ballerina in the center with the Twilight Zone. So love entering the Twilight Zone every now and then. Gold Key comic, $3, no-brainer right there. Also, did a recent episode about 80s comics, and this comic book came out in the early 80s. Dungeon and Warriors are very popular, and this is Dragon Slayer. It's a movie adaptation that I did not hear about. It almost looks like Gray Morrow artwork, that fine painted line work, etc. And it is the official Marvel adaptation of the Paramount Spectacular. So really happy to have this, issue number 1. I'm going to read that and learn more about it. And also following Daniel Warren Johnson, who's done a lot of work for the Transformers, also has a personal passion project, The Moon Is Following Us, already on issue number 3. Did a video where I met Daniel Warren Johnson and he autographed some of my Transformer books, and that's when I heard about this title right there, of a mother who's right there and a father trying to save and look after their son from the clutches of a bizarre and unique universe. So The Moon Is Following Us. This is the 3rd installation. Of course, Zombie Unicorn Comics always has the latest and the greatest comic book in great condition, ready to buy, hot off the press, and this was one of them that I picked up. And one of the more fun and big pickups from Zombie Unicorn, Ron and Rob had this on the back shelf. This is a Jenny Frison cover, Chicago-based artist Jenny Frison, 4-Star Studios, known for her covers like Poison Ivy, G.I. Joe that just came out with a nice silver cover. This one here is from 2022, one that I didn't know about, Cloak and Dagger. You can see the light of Dagger and the darkness of Cloak, and Jenny Frison's signature right there. So Ron pulled it from the wall, showed it to me, and I had to get it. Really neat to have and add to the Jenny Frison cover collection that I have, which I'll do a video soon about. We have quite a few books from Jenny Frison, so really neat. This Savage Avengers actually features Conan and a lot of the even Deadpool, rather not Deadpool, but the Daredevil, and some unique stories right there. Some other Avengers being put together, and of course, Cloak and Dagger, beaming through the darkness, Cloak and Dagger. So that was from Zombie Unicorn Comics. Those were my pickups from the Warrior Con. I thank you for tagging along with me as always and traveling in time and even going into the future to see the latest and newer books that we saw from some of our vendors. So happy comic hunting, and thank you for following. Subscribe and like for more content.